the game ended. This team, a consensus 4th, 5th, 6th place choice in the American League West, with a manager not named until 7 weeks had gone by in the offseason last year, with a 34-year-old general manager, Andy McPhail, a team that not long ago may have been headed elsewhere. Their future in Minnesota seriously in doubt. Small crowds, the depths of the standings, and now this.
And if you're looking for Tom Kelly in your picture, forget it. True to form, he said he would allow the players to celebrate on the field. He would wait on the bench, and that's what he did.
And he told us he wouldn't be able to see this if he was out there.
That's right.
Tom Nieto on the left and Steve Lombardozzi on the right. And that says everything. The Metrodome still rocking. Viola beats Cox. And let's go to Reggie Jackson in the Twins locker room.
Thank you very much, Al Michaels. And an obvious World Series scene. You see the commissioner on my left, Carl Pohlad, the owner of the Minnesota Twins. Here on my right, Bobby Brown, Dr. Bobby Brown, the president of the American League. Andy McPhail, the general manager. Young fella here of the Minnesota Twins, and the youngest manager to win a World Series non-playing since John McGraw in 1905. Mr. Commissioner, will you present the World Series trophy to Mr. Pohlad?
Carl, and to the entire Twins organization, this is a very special thing. They told me a few years ago that they shouldn't have had baseball in Minnesota, and you've made it very real. It's a class organization. It was a great win. Congratulations to you, Carl.
Right.
That thing's pretty heavy.
Thank you, Peter. On behalf of the entire Twins organization, on behalf of everybody in this upper Midwest area that supported us, it's just a great thrill speaking for the team and everyone here. And I just want to say I've never had a greater thrill in my life, and I'm sure that applies to the entire team and everybody else in the Twin City area.
There we go.
Tom Kelly, what do you think of the owner here? What do you think of your trophy?
Well, I'm very happy that Mr. Pohlad gave me an opportunity to manage these fine bunch of young men, and I'm very proud of the guys, the way they played. You know, outstanding effort against the Tigers, very good ball club, and to beat the Cardinals, just an outstanding class organization. We have to feel very proud.
The thing I want to ask you, Tom, what did you say to Frank Viola in the middle of the 8th inning?
Well, I didn't want to take him out, but the way we've been going all season long, we didn't divert. In the 9th inning, Mr. Jeff Reardon gets the baseball, and that's the way we did it all year. Reardon's my man in the 9th. He gets the ball. That's all there is to it.
Outstanding. Mr. Pohlad, let me ask you a question. I know that you've had some...
Way to go, guys!
You and Andy made it all happen.
All right. Way to go. Super.
Mr. Pohlad, I know you've had some great thrills in your life. You can name it when it comes to buying things, but a World Series trophy is something that all the dimes or all the pennies you can save in the world you can't buy. What's your feeling today?
There's no way I can describe the feeling. I've been through many things in my life, pleasant and unpleasant. This is the greatest thrill, and the only way that you can really know how it feels is to be here, have it happen to you, and believe me, thanks to a great organization, Tom Kelly, Andy McPhail, and everyone else, it happened to us, and we're just grateful. We're grateful for the good Lord to let us come through all this, and I can't tell you how thrilled I am.
I know the guys love you. I know the fans love you. When we come back, we will come back and receive the Most Valuable Player trophy given to Mr. Frank Viola.
All right.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Way to go, Frankie.
The Minnesota Twins, the World Series champions, 1987. The National League champions, the St. Louis Cardinals. And in their locker room is Gary Bender. Gary?
Al, thank you very much with Whitey Herzog. And Skipper, I understand you went over the Twins and congratulated them.
Well, sure. They played a great series, especially in this ballpark. And we had a good ball game tonight. We played about as good as we can play. And we've been very vulnerable to left-hand pitching ever since we lost Jack Clark and then lose Pendleton. And Viola pitched great, and he was a difference tonight because we got the 2 runs in the second inning. We really never had anything else going. Then, of course, Reardon come in and did what he's supposed to do. But they're an awful good ball club in this building.
Whitey, I'm curious. Controversy at first base. It happened in 1985. Was it so noisy out there you couldn't even plead your cause?
Well, we thought there was an awful lot of close plays, and Lee had a lot of close plays over there. And unfortunately, a few of them went against us, you know, but he's a good umpire, and I don't know. I mean, I really want to comment on something like that because I think that would take a lot of credit away from the Twins. And in all fairness, they had a better ball club than we did. And the way we were crippled up, I'd like to play them at full strength, but it wasn't going to happen, so we had to play them best we could.
It's an amazing series. The home team won every game.
That's the first time in history. Of course, no team in history has had to play 4 games up here, and they're a great ball club, like I said, here, and it's amazing to me that they can't play better on the road.
I'm curious. You went 7 in 85, losing to the Royals that year. Your emotions now as opposed to 2 years ago?
Well, we thought we got something taken away from us in 85. We thought we had it 1-6, and it didn't turn out that way, and the 7th game was a nightmare with the things that happened. I felt awful bad about that. And today, this series, I mean, they won the 4 ball games they should have won. We won the 3 we should have won, and basically there's not much to say. And as a manager, I'm glad to be in the World Series 6 times. I'd like to win all 3 of them, but we're 1-2, and I'd much rather be 1-2 than 0-3, but I'd like to be 3-0. But by the same token, you can ask Bud Grant this, who's one of the best coaches. I'd rather be 1-2 than 0-0.
Well, you wired this team together. You came through with a lot of injuries and still kept them in to the very bitter end.
Well, basically, it was almost amazing that we were able to hold on. Well, we had all the injuries early in the season, and I didn't think we were going to be able to keep our head above water. The guys just played great, and the guys we put in the lineup did a job. And then when our lead was down to a game and a half with 25 to go, the fact we lost Clark, he's a big asset to our ball club, and I didn't think we could hold on then. We did. We beat an awful good ball club in the playoffs. The Giants were hot. They got awful good pitching, a good young infield, and we were fortunate to come back and beat them. And then we had these guys where we wanted them. Only thing, we had them in the wrong ballpark, and we just couldn't get it done up here.
Going to go fishing for a while now?
Well, I'm going to Germany next week and take a little vacation.
All right, let's go now to Reggie Jackson back in the Twins clubhouse.
Thank you very much, Gary. Before we get on to the Most Valuable Player Award donated by Chevrolet in Major League Baseball, the commissioner has something he'd like to say.
Well, we just received a call from the President of the United States, and he congratulates the Twins and the whole organization and invites the entire team to the White House for a ceremony in the next couple of days. They're looking forward to seeing the whole team and congratulate everybody. But I think we got a MVP here. Great pitcher, played very, very well. Frank Viola, we're proud of you, and Chevrolet MVP trophy. Why don't you go ahead?
Frank, do you think you can make it down to the White House?
I'll find time, believe me.
Here with me, Mr. Tom Stout, the General Marketing Manager for Chevrolet, to present the Chevrolet Major League Most Valuable Player Award. And Chevrolet, you know, the heartbeat of America. I think you became the heartbeat of the city of Minneapolis tonight.
Oh, it's a tremendous feeling. You know, MVP is a great, great honor, but I couldn't do it without the other 23 guys, and they all should share in this.
Mr. Tom Stout?
Frank, you won the 2 big ones, the first one and the last one, and you truly led a team of destiny. And it's a great pleasure for us at Chevrolet to be able to present you this trophy as the most valuable player of the 1987 World Series. And we look forward to presenting a car or truck in your honor to the charity of your choice to help a lot of other people. Congratulations, Frank. Absolutely super.
Thank you very much.
Nice going,
Thank you.
Frank.
Thank you, Reggie.
Nice going. Congratulations to you.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It wasn't unbelievable when you were out there.
I was able to forget about Game 4 now. I have a nice winter ahead with Game 7, and all the guys made it possible, and that's the way we played all year. It's just an incredible, incredible feeling.
Frank, coming back on 3 days rest, how did you feel going out there tonight?
I felt outstanding. You know, even the time in St. Louis I did, but the difference between tonight and Game 4 was I was able to get a head strike 1 and pitch my game. When you're behind ball 1, ball 2, I think any team in baseball can hit you, and that was the case in 4. But
you struggled early in the second inning. You gave up a couple of runs, a couple of base hits, but then you settled down. What did you try to do?
Well, just keep the team close. Guys have been coming back all year, and you know today is just another case. And then when you know you have a Jeff Reardon behind you, all you do is try keeping it close and giving the guys a chance, and Jeff's going to come in and close it for you.
How did you feel leaving the ball game in the 8th inning when Tom Kelly talked to you?
He's been doing it all year. That's his exact words. We're doing it all year. We have Jeff to close the door. Why change now? And that was the case, and it worked out great.
Nice going. Congratulations to you. Kirby Puckett. Kirby Puckett, you in here? If people would like to hear you. Kirby, come on up here, big guy. Whatever you want to tell me. Outstanding ball game.
Man, it's great, man.
A lot of people have said that the Minnesota Twins could not win this World Series if you did not start hitting. You started yesterday.
Well, Reg, I felt great to play the last couple of days, and I just wanted to just do the best I could and just stay back and just try to contribute to the team offensively because I hadn't done it in the previous 4 games.
Outstanding baseball game, fella. You showed the people that you are one great baseball player.
Well, Reg, I was just trying to come out and just do the things that I've done all year, and that's just play hard and just let my ability just take over. I'm just glad that Frankie got the MVP, man.
You sound like you're wound up.
Oh, man, I'm all wound up. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Have some more champagne. Let's go back upstairs to Al Michaels.
All right, thank you, Reggie. And right now we are going to bring to you the Budweiser play of the game, which turns out to be an infield single. But this coming in the 6th inning with the score tied 2-2 and 2 out. And Greg Gagne grounding one just bare. Tom Lawless making a nice stop, but the throw to first too late, and that made the score 3-2. And the Twins were, of course, to go on to add another run. And Reardon did the job in the 9th inning. Viola gets the win. And the final score, 4-2. Game 7 of the 1987 World Series has been brought to you by Budweiser Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Chevrolet, the official car and truck of Major League Baseball. By the people of Holiday Inn Hotels who salute you. Here's to the winners. We're on your way. And to by Merrill Lynch. Al Michaels, Jim Palmer, and Tim McCarver with the story from the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Minnesota Twins are the world champions. A look now at the people we feel are the very best in our business.
The Minnesota Twins are the World Series champions. We can say that tonight for the first time in Minnesota's baseball history, and how sweet it is to see the Twins
Take that trophy. Oh, it's been a long time coming. Hi, everybody. Stan Turner, Wood Spencer. We're a couple of numb people right now. It feels so good, doesn't it? It is beautiful. So privileged to be a part of this history tonight, I'll tell you. We can't wait to bring you the live reaction from all the Twins, from their fans, and much, much more. Let's get to it.
Yes, sir. We're going to bring you that cork-popping celebration, the dancing in the streets of St. Paul, Minneapolis, all over Minnesota, as they celebrate the World Series victory. Next on Twins Fever 87. Stand by.
Channel 5, Minnesota's news channel, and the Minnesota Twins channel for the 1987 World Series.
Well, there it is, still aglow from all the excitement under its white top tonight. The Metrodome, the lights shine, of course, for the Twins players, but they shine for all the fans who believed in this team, believed in them through the lean years, through some hard times, some hard breaks, some near triumphs. But by golly, they deserve to win it all tonight. Good evening, everybody. Very happy, Ruth Spencer. Happy, that's an understatement. Ecstatic couple of people up here like you are. Welcome to Twins Fever 87. We did it. My voice is leaving, and I don't care.
Me too. Let's go right down to the field to Mark Curtis to find out more about this. What's going on now, Mark?
Thanks very much, Ruth. We're standing by with Gene Larkin, and this has got to be the sweetest thing in the world, especially because there's not one hero. This is a team victory, a team effort all season long.
I tell you, this group of guys have been unbelievable. You know, if you make a mistake, some guy just picks you up. This happened the whole year. A tremendous ball game tonight. Very exciting ball game. Two guys throwing out the plate. I'm just happy. So happy we came out on top.
The nice thing about it is Game 7 turned out to be the best game of the series.
Hey, people said it was a boring series in the beginning, but you can't complain about the excitement in the last few games. Unbelievable. Pitching, hitting, clutch hitting, especially on our part. And, man, I can't believe we're the best.
We're looking at some tape right now, the celebration in the locker room. You guys not only know how to win big, you know how to party big.
Oh, man, it tastes good, too. It's so sweet.
All right, Gino Larkin, I'm going to let you go because I know you got to go party on the field. Thank you very, very much for being with us. As we were saying just moments ago, all the players are filing out on the field. Jeff Reardon, Tom Nieto, all the guys that took such a part, played such a role in this victory all season. This is what a team victory is all about. There were many heroes tonight. Frank Viola was certainly a hero. Kirby Puckett. But you can't really point out one player. It was a totally sweet victory. Right now, we're going to look at some more of the locker room celebration. And when that champagne poured... All right, right now we're going to look at some players coming out on the field. One more encore performance. The last out had to be the sweetest, because this team has been criticized for so many years, and now they are the world champions of baseball. And this is what it's all about, winning the World Series. Who would have ever believed the Minnesota champs are the World Series champs? But they are. 4-2 was the final score. Dan Gladden had an excellent series. As we said, Frank Viola came up MVP tonight. Rob Lear and I got soaking wet, and it was a sweet feeling. Rob, let me just drag you in here for a second.
What they're doing now, Mark, is they talked about it in the clubhouse. They're orchestrating an encore to show the fans what this night is all about. They all huddled in the rear of the clubhouse. They said, what could we do now? They said, let's get on back onto the field for those that have hung around and been through this thing, waiting the 22 years to win this championship. And they want to toast the town, and they want to do it right out here on the field.
And I think this is very symbolic of what this team is all about. Many teams would still be in there drinking champagne, talking to reporters, basking in the limelight. Instead, every one of these guys is back out on the field, letting the fans who played such a vital role in this win share in the celebration.
Because there's no doubt about it. They believe that this championship was won with the efforts of those screaming fans in the stands. And again, tonight, another example of just how the comeback was fueled by their enthusiasm and their exhilaration, and they're just back out there, and, well, the pictures speak for itself.
And now we're back looking at some locker room pictures now with the players pouring the champagne, which, of course, caps off what has been an unbelievable season for the Minnesota Twins.
Well, this is the third champagne shower, and by far this one tastes sweeter than any of them. And the Whistling Wives, the Homer Hankies. It's been a postseason of upstaging, one event after the other. And tonight, the comeback, to think that they're the first world champion ever to win all the home games, and to do it in the fashion and the number of games that they've done it, and to show the excitement, and to go back and pay tribute to their own fans. I think says a lot.
And now will come the curtain call as they head down to spring training. Not too far away from now. How can they improve upon this? What can they do to top this?
Well, I think for now the glow is just going to radiate, and they're going to want to take all this in. Everybody that I talked to in the clubhouse was on cloud nine, and I said, how does it feel to be a world champion? And they had to pause for a moment and say the words to themselves, world champion, world champion.
And I think we've seen over the years the New York Yankees, the Detroit Tigers, the Dodgers, all the great teams, and now you can add Minnesota to that list.
Well, they certainly did it in convincing fashion. And I thought perhaps the greatest compliment is Dan Gladden, who we have hush up right here. Dan, congratulations on just a tremendous World Series.
Thank you very much. It was a very exciting World Series, and every player always dreams to be in this in seventh game, and it was just outstanding performance by everybody, and very exciting, I think, for the viewers and the fans here.
Danny, what was the feeling coming out tonight? The series was tied at 3. You'd had some tough times in St. Louis, but you beat them last night, and you knew that with this crowd, I think you could beat them again.
Well, I think after we got that win last night, we were very confident coming into the ballpark. Everybody was somewhat low-keyed, more so than the night before, and a lot of guys were just running around getting last autographs and signing a lot of balls and bats and, packing a little bit. And but then again, having your mind on the game and coming out early.
Although there was a point in this game where you guys fell behind, was there ever a point where you were worried?
Well, I think anytime we've fallen behind that inning coming up, we've always come back and scored a run or taken the lead. And just like tonight, we came back and scored one run to make it 2-1, and then we went ahead and tied it up, and it was like that for a while. And I think Greg Gagne battled all series and came up with a really, really big hit.
All right. Dan Gladden, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations.
See you on the streets tonight.
Okay. This is a man who perhaps as much as Tom Kelly, as much as the players, orchestrated this entire thing. Andy McPhail, this has to be especially sweet for you.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great season, Mark, but I didn't get a hit all day, and I never got anybody out all season. The players on the field are the ones that deserve the credit.
Obviously, you want to bask in this for a while. You want to go out there and you want to watch the fans celebrating. You want to feel the champagne on your clothing and taste the champagne tonight, but you are going to have a heck of a thing to improve on next season because now you're the world champion.
That sounds great, world champion. So just leave it at that. I think I'll hide for a week and just try to pinch myself and read about it and confirm that it's true.
Were there times along the way that you had your doubts? I mean, you were never really that far out of first, but still, these were the Minnesota Twins. They had fallen before, but not this time.
Oh, sure. I think you'd be less than honest if you didn't have questions sometimes. Our pitching was a problem. I think Dick Such and Tom Kelly did an outstanding job maneuvering the pitching when they got the most out of it, and it came through. The bullpen was strong for us down the end, which was key, and we just seemed to have the different hero all season, and that's the one thing you really need to have to win. We had it all season, and it worked out great for us.
Some key acquisitions along the way. Talk about those a little bit.
Well, we added, we tried principally, Mark, to strengthen our bullpen with Berenguer and Reardon, and then we added Schatzleder, and the year before we got Atherton and Frazier. So essentially, we rebuilt the bullpen over the course of 1 year. Then we felt like we needed some defense and speed in left field and get a leadoff type hitter, and that was the idea behind Gladden. We think we improved our team speed with Newman and defense up the middle and trying to give the manager a little more versatility in what he could do. And we were fortunate that a lot of them worked out. And then as the fans started coming in and we were getting the revenue, we felt we owed it to the fans to put it back out on the field. And that's why we went and got Negro and then Carlton and then Don Baylor, who helped us win a few postseason games.
If ever this expression was overused, I think it applies tonight. A storybook finish.
It sure was. It sure was. I'm sure Vegas are going to have a tough time paying off on those odds.
Okay, Andy, thanks so much for joining us. Let's bring in Roy Schwally now. You came in and there were great cheers from the crowd tonight when you entered the game. What was going through your mind?
It was the most thrilling, most fun time at bat I've ever had in almost 13 years and almost 1,500 at bats. The most memorable. I was having so much fun. It was, it's indescribable. It really was. The most fun I've ever had in baseball.
It has to be especially sweet for you because you were with this team years ago when they were the doormat.
Well, we weren't exactly doormats. We came close a couple of times, and we weren't so good a couple of times. A lot of real good seasons and real big moments for me personally, but never as a team, which is what you play for. And what a great 35th birthday!
This is one I am sure that you will never forget.
Never in a million years. That's for sure. This is The second best birthday ever. The best one was 10 years ago when Christy and I became engaged, and I'm looking forward to number 45 now.
How do you top this, Roy?
Can't top it. You cannot top it. To win the world championship, have my part here in the stands watching us, and having everybody cheering. It's just the greatest feeling in the world.
Talk about the character of this team for a second, because there are so many personalities on this team, so many components that made up this winning effort. Explain it to me.
Well, the main thing was what I said not too long ago, and that was I've never seen a team able to get as intense and determined to win a big game when we had to win a big game. When we perceived there was a big game, this team won the game. It was unbelievable. And, you know, last night was a big game. I just figured, I thought we were going to win. And when we were going down to the biggest game of the year in our home park and get with these people, I knew we were going to win. Had to be.
Roy Smalley, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now let's go down the hall just a little bit to Rob Lear with the winning manager, Tom Kelly.
Mark, what a year, what a World Series for these gentlemen who've been talking ever since this thing wrapped up. Lots to smile about, too. Tom Kelly, did you ever in your wildest imagination dream this all possible?
Well, this is our, you know, Rob, I hate to sound redundant, but, you know, you take the games one game at a time, and you go along, and you go along. It's such a long season, and that's the only way you can do it. You start dreaming and get way ahead of yourself, that's when your bubble gets busted on you. And it may sound funny to people, but that's the way you have to do it in this game. The season's too long and too tough, and I'm real happy that Andy McPhail gave me an opportunity to manage these fine bunch of players, and he did a great job of securing some people to fill in the holes that we needed. And if you have a bunch of guys that can go to the post for you every day, you can get some things done, and this is just what happened with the ball club this year.
One of those horses that went to the post, Tim Laudner. Congratulations, Tim, on this world championship, and the words themselves must just sound sweet.
We're number one. We're the best. We're the best in the league. We might not have all the best players or the best pitchers, but we got the best 24-man team in the league. And we played as a team right down to the wire, right down to the last out, and that's why we're the world champions.
Everybody wanted to count this team out, and the doubters. Does this silence some of those, Tom Kelly?
Well, it never will. You know, baseball's a great game, and people talk about it on the streets, in the bars, at dinner, and it's a great game for second guessing. You can do this, you could have done that, but that's what makes the game so much fun, you know, and everybody can talk about it. So, you know, like I said, you got some good pitching, you can go out and play the game. If you don't have any pitching, well, you can't go play. And you can see my ball club pitch very well for me for the majority of the year. And Frank Viola, what can you say about this guy, the way he pitched tonight? And, of course, our main man, Reardon, at the end. So pitching's the name of the game. If you get some pitching, you can go play ball every night.
Celebrate, and congratulations to both of you. This is a night you'll remember for a long, long time. Thanks for taking this time. Let's send it back to Mark Curtis.
Thanks very much, Rob Lear. We're joined by Mike Smithson, a man who has been my colleague for the last week or so, analyzing these games, and you've done a great job. Now that you've had a taste to savor this thing, what do you think?
That's the best feeling I've ever experienced. It's probably the best ball game of all seven. We had a chance to blow it open, but you got to give the Cardinals credit. They played great defense. They did a lot of fundamentally things right in the game today, and we were lucky to just outscore them tonight.
This was a game, I think, that some people will talk about the bad calls.
Well, there were a few bad calls, but you know, I think that the team that it hurt the most were us. The game at the play at home plate looked like he was safe, but that's, you know, that's baseball. That's just part of it, and we were able to persevere and come through.
Mike Smithson, congratulations. I know that champagne tastes mighty good.
I just want to thank Channel 5 for letting me help you guys out. It took a lot off my mind, and you kept me in the ball game mentally, and I just want to thank you guys for letting me tag along with you.
You did a great job. Mike Smithson, let's go upstairs to Stan and Ruth.
Thank you, Mark.
All
Thank you, Smitty.
Yeah, you just saw a picture down there while he was talking to Smithson. On the field, there's a parade going by, an impromptu parade. All the twins, their wives, their children. Ken Herbeck came by. Stan and I were yelling, and we went like this to his armband, and he went like this. I see it, I see it. It's our good luck charm. The twins won. I'm so happy. I'm so
You're
happy.
so excited, your sweater's shedding.
Oh, it's great.
All right, Mike Finkley is on the outside of things right now. Good luck, Mike, wherever you are. Come in, please.
Right, Stan and Ruth, as you well know, a lot of the fans are still inside the dome, but just look at the way the people outside the dome are acting. They have completely taken over Chicago Avenue outside the dome. No chance of getting traffic through there. They're having to divert it away from 6th Street and down Chicago Avenue. These people have been dancing out here like they can't believe it. They've just seen it, but they still can't believe it. People high-fiving complete strangers. They've been jumping on top of taxi cabs. If we can go back down there to the crowd, I'd like you to to see some of the celebration going on there, just thousands of people. And there were already hundreds others waiting for them before this celebration, before the game actually ended. People who came down here with their TV sets, standing outside of Hubert's, pounding on the windows because it was jam-packed inside there. But once this game ended, just a giant celebration, and it has not stopped since then, and it's bound to go on for a long, long time. Let's go back up to you, Santa Ruth.
Thank you very much, Mike. Okay, this celebration is going to be going on at least through afternoon of Tuesday, because Tuesday is the day, starting at noon, that the Twins will be in a big parade, a procession starting at noon from downtown Minneapolis. That procession will go over to St. Paul, winding up about 1:30 at the state capitol for a big rally there. That's Tuesday. We'll tell you more about it.
Let's go to Mark Curtis right now. He's with number 14, Kent Herbeck. Mark?
Actually, Kent Herbeck has been tied up for a second, but if I can, I'm going to bring in Joe Necro. Joe? Come on in here. Herbie? Both of you guys...
What are you all messed up about?
The big grand slam last night, and tonight you drink the champagne.
Oh, what a feeling. It's not the champagne, it's the people out there. I mean, we just went out there and thanked them, and oh, what a thrill. It's, again, you can't explain it.
If anyone could write a script, I think it would go exactly as this season has gone for you guys.
I think so. We won when we had to. It seemed like every time our backs to the wall, it seemed like we could win a ball game. We come up and win a ball game. That's the way it went all year for us. There was somebody different every day, and it's just great because everybody contributed so well.
You've been asked this question a million times, but growing up in Bloomington, playing high school ball, watching the Twins play, did you ever?
You think about it, but you know, it's way in the back of your mind that maybe you'll make it there someday. And now you make it there, and I'm just so happy for the people. I mean, you can just tell on the faces of the people. I mean, it'd be funny if Minneapolis was standing tonight after how crazy they were here. Now, you couldn't even, they were screaming so loud you couldn't even hear them. It was almost like a dog whistle. We were even talking about it in the dugout. It was just a scream, and you could hardly even hear it. It was so loud.
All right, there are a lot of people watching out there. Is there anything you want to say to all the fans out there?
We love you. You guys did it for us. I mean, we were out in the field. We did the job out there, but you guys pulled us through it. Thanks a million.
Congratulations.
2 million. All right, thanks a lot, folks.
All right, and spring training is not that far away. Back upstairs to Santa Ruth.
Yes, thank you, Mark. They love you, too.
Yes, they do. Let's go out and see some of those fans right now. It's Sergeant Preston's where Pat Milan's standing by in Minneapolis. Pat?
Let me show you something. Hot off the presses. Minnesota Twins, 1987 World Championship. The banners, the pennants are already out. Talk to some of these folks here. Steve, how's the feeling? The people started spilling out of the bars. As sure as the last minute, the moment the last out was through, people poured out on the streets. We're in the Seven Corners area in a plaza, and it is just nuts here. People are having a great time, and I suspect we're going to be here very late. We'll stand by, maybe we'll come back a little later, but it's getting a little out of hand, so we'll send it back to you.
This is what pandemonium is. Did you see that little baby coming out of the shot?
I think they have a picture of this in the dictionary where you look up when you look up pandemonium. You know, the Twins have reawakened all of the old feelings of some of the old fans who watched the success of this team in '65. They were able to watch tonight also as a piece of Twins memorabilia circled their new home. This was the sign from the now gone old Met Stadium, and old fans thought that it was time for that to shine again.
There it is. There it is. Being trucked through downtown Minneapolis. That's from the old. And,
you, of course, were lucky not to go to Met Stadium.
Right.
I came in after that. Had been demolished.
Right. Dear memories of that old place, though. That's where this franchise got started here in Minnesota back in the early 60s. This is the climax tonight. Mike Binkley standing by outside right now. Mike?
Just as wild as ever outside here, Stan and Ruth. We've seen people on top of this van over here. Now they've climbed down. They've been rocking it back and forth. They've been climbing on top of stoplights. They've been dancing around, dancing together. Just complete madness out here. And now the majority of the people are filing out of the dome and joining this wild party that gathered just minutes after the game ended. We've got Mark Stevens inside the Metrodome. Let's go back inside there.
Okay, Pat, Jeff Reardon, you were on the mound when it ended in Arlington, on the mound in Detroit. How was tonight compared to those?
Oh, tonight was definitely the best. You know, that's a dream come true to get a chance to save this, seventh game of the World Series and be world champions. You really can't ask for anything more.
When Andy MacPhail rescued you from Montreal, did you ever, in your wildest dreams, expect to be in this situation?
I never did until, I got to spring training. I saw the offense that the team had, and I thought if our pitching could hold up, I felt like, this might be the year to get, win everything.
This was the first time that it was really a Jeff Reardon situation here in the Metrodome. All the other games have been blowouts. Tonight you had to save one.
Yeah, it's true. All the games, it was big run lead, and tonight was just a 2-run lead, and it was nice to go out there and get them out 1, 2, 3, and not get the fans too nervous.
Describe the feeling when Gaetti put that thing away.
Oh, it was great. I was just, I was screaming, and then all of a sudden I got mobbed. I had about probably 1,000 pounds on top of me on the field, but I didn't care at that point.
Jeff Reardon, congratulations. Let's hope there's more in the future after this. Don Baylor, last year you were on the other side of the thing. How about now?
It's nothing like being on this side. It was a long winter last year when you lose games 6 and 7, and this year I was on the good side and won games 6 and 7.
You also played a very vital role to this ball club. The designated hitter position in this ballpark certainly meant something.
Well, I tell you, it's nothing like it. I think we should do it every year. Just have the DH the entire World Series, because I definitely handicap to the American League teams to give a pitcher in the American League a bat in their hands, because they don't know what to do with it. But it was a tremendous feeling that being a part of the World Series and being a winner also.
Did you even imagine when you were let go by the Sox and they got you over here that you'd be in this situation today?
No, not really. I just kept praying that things would work out, and hopefully we'll get into a playoff, and all those things came through, and we came very, very close to getting out of this thing after we losing Game 5, and then we came back here. And the fans were tremendous. Here, I tell you, I didn't see anything like this last year in Boston. It was just a community effort. The whole state, I tell you, it was just tremendous feeling.
Don Baylor, congratulations, and you certainly knew what you were doing when you got over here and got the job done.
Thank you.
Joe?
Yeah, I got Tom Bernansky, Bruno coming in. Bruno, congratulations. I know that for a long time, a lot of people said this couldn't be done, but you guys proved them wrong.
I just want to say one thing right now, that a bunch of guys have come by from St. Louis and congratulated me and our ball club. And it's tough to be in a situation where you lose in the 7th game, but they have showed a lot of class throughout the whole series. And before we go on any further, I just want to congratulate the Cardinals.
Tell me about it. Is the feeling what you imagined it would be?
No, not at all. You can never picture this. There's no way. I mean, you dream about it as a young kid, out in the front yard, tearing up your mom's yard. You dream about it, but you never can imagine the pressure and just everything that goes along with it right now. And now just the total euphoria of just partying and everybody enjoying with it. I mean, every person in that stands, and everybody out in the bars, everybody on the streets right now feels the same way I feel right now.
You guys turned this town, these Twin Cities in the state of Minnesota, upside down.
It's been a long time coming. I mean, all you hear, you're getting a situation where we can win it, and all you hear about is how no one else has done the job. Everybody's kind of fallen right at the front door. Oh, baby, we just kicked the door in, and we're number 1.
One last question. When you think about this next year, maybe a month from now, when you think about this whole pennant run, what are you going to think about?
I'm just going to think, the one thing I'm going to pull from this is just the total unity we had as a ball club. The love and the affection that 24 men can have for each other, the coaches and the manager. Because without that, we wouldn't be standing here.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bruno. Let's all head on down to Mark Curtis.
Thanks very much, Joe. Frank's being interviewed by the national media here. Let me just mention 3 letters to you. MVP.
Incredible. I couldn't, it wasn't me. It was everybody. All 24 guys who are on the roster this year did a job, contributed in some way. It's not me. It's everybody, and I'd like to share that with everybody. But, it's a great honor for me personally.
You talked about seeing nothing but the catcher's mitt after Game 1. What did you see tonight?
Well, Game 4, I got away from that totally. It was ball 1, ball 2. First couple of innings tonight, I don't think I was really on my game. Second inning there was tough. Try keeping them close, because at any time we are capable of scoring some runs. And it just seemed like all of a sudden just something hit me after the second inning and said, geez, I got to pitch better than what I've been pitching. Or else the thing that scared me the most was seeing Bert warming up out there. So, from then on, everything worked out, and the guys just kept battling and battling like we've done all year, and we won.
It's such a long season for all of the people here that cover the teams, but it's even longer for you guys that have to play these games and ride the roller coaster.
Yeah, but this is all worthwhile now, and that's the bottom line. We've gone from 102 losses in 82 to winning a world championship, and nobody's going to ever take that away from us now.
Frank Viola, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Back upstairs to Stan and Ruth right now.
One happy fellow. I thought
yeah.
Jeff Reardon
Sweet.
looked remarkably fit for being at the bottom of the human pyramid there, didn't he? Huh? Remarkable.
How much weight was on him, do you figure, there at that point?
Tons of happy weight. Well, please don't go away. This is a night you know you're going to remember for the rest of your life. We'll have much, much more on this Red Letter Day.
Yes, we are. We're going to show you also how the Twin Cities listen to tonight's game when we come back. Stay tuned. Well, they're still whooping it up inside the dome. The cheers are still ringing. The Minnesota Twins could not wish for any more support than they are getting tonight.
Few souls still sitting here, still in shock, I think. Delightful shock. All right. Well, Rob Lear is standing by downstairs right now in the dome here. All the Twins are popular guys, but perhaps among the most popular, dare we say, Kirby Puckett. He's down
Powerhouse.
there, right?
Kirby Puckett, this is it. World champions. You got your Homer hanky.
This is it.
You got the bottle of champagne, and it's got to taste kind of sweet right about now.
This is it, Rob. We had a lot of doubters, and a lot of people said we couldn't do it, man. But I tell you what, we proved a lot of people wrong, and we proved that we can do it.
And that you came through. Everybody was doubting the bat. Everybody said, what's wrong with Puckett? He's swinging up there, not swinging like he did all season, but in the end, you came through.
Well, I started feeling good the last couple of days. I gave a little talk to myself and said that I'm better than this, and I'm just getting myself out because I looked at the films and saw that the pitches I was swinging at were balls inside, and the pitchers were just throwing them because they knew I was going to swing at it. So I just said that I was going to just take it easy and just try to get a good pitch to hit.
Good luck charms. Did you call on some old standbys to get you through this?
No, we just did what we did all year. We didn't want to change anything, Rob, regardless of what we had done on the road or whatever. We've always won here, and the fans have been great, and if anybody deserves a pennant, it's these people in Minnesota.
And to have this clinching party here, I mean, after winning in Texas and Detroit, I know you guys made a lot of having to stage something like this here at the home field.
I'll tell you what, man, it's great, and it's a feeling I'll never forget, man. It's the best feeling in the world.
World champions, where do you go from here?
I go home, I think. if I can
About 3 days from now, right?
That's all right. All I know is that we're number one all year.
That sounds great.
All right, Rob.
Kirby Puckett,
All
thank
right.
you. A little champagne shower down here outside the Twins clubhouse.
Little Andre Shampoo there, Robbie. Okay. Well, you've seen a whole lot of what's going on in here in Minneapolis right now. St. Paul's got to be whooping it up, too. Let's go over to Mark Sapelsa at the World Trade Center, the Heart Rob Cafe. Mark.
Santa Ruth, we're a long way from the Metrodome here in downtown St. Paul, but the decibel level here oftentimes rivals the Metrodome. As you can tell over to the right here, the turntables have been virtually idle except for the Minnesota Twins win theme song. They usually play 50s music here constantly. The dance floor, as you can see, the hardwood dance floor, no happy feet tonight in terms of dancing, strictly used as a living room to watch their brand new big screen TV up there. And believe me, they love watching every inch of this thing. One of the guys in here has a rally cap. Tell me what this rally cap does, and did it work tonight?
Well, what you got to do is when the Twins are up to bat, you got to turn it. You have to turn the hat backwards so you can see the official rally cap emblem, and it works every time. It works in the playoffs against Detroit. It works against St. Louis. The Twins are number one.
Let me show you something else here. Hold this up for me. Hold that up. Hold it up. Open it up. Open this. World champions, folks. Santa Ruth, I'm going to toss it back to you because I'm losing control.
Okay, Mark, I think he's going down for the third time. He's going under. Let's rescue him. Let's toss now to Joe Schmidt, who's standing by with another good Joe. Joe?
Thanks a lot, Ruth. You know, when Joe Negro files his nails from now on, he's going to have to file them real nice. He's got to put a nice little ring over the top of it. I imagine that's going to feel real nice when you slip on that World Series championship ring, Joe.
Well, after waiting 20 years, it's going to feel real good. And something that I've looked forward to a long time, and I'm just very happy to be a part of this ball club. I think we showed the country what kind of ball club we have. A very, very, very good ball club, and we might not get the respect we deserve because we went into the playoffs with the least wins of any team in the playoffs. But we showed we could beat Detroit, won one on the road and won one here, and we just played a great series. And I'm really proud of the guys.
You played on a lot of winning ball clubs, and I imagine when the team's winning, it has that certain cohesiveness, that certain team unity, and this team had it.
Well, I think you go back a long way back in the season. I think you can find that out if you go back and look at the schedule. Every big game we had to win, we won. Starting with the Kansas City game, Oakland come in, we swept them 4. We beat, I think, one club that nobody really thinks about. We swept Cleveland 3 straight here while Texas and Kansas City were winning. And they don't look at that. But then we go to Detroit, and we had to win the 4th game there. We won it. And we come back here, and we had to win 2 games here and won these 2. So it's a club that just had to do what they had to do, and they got it done, and that's why we're world champs.
Joe Negro, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let's head now over to Mark Curtis.
Thanks very much, Joe. We're standing by with Bert Blyleven. So many components to this team. There are the jokesters like yourself. There are the serious guys, the intense guys, the gamers. Somehow, it all came together.
It really did. It's a combination of everybody contributing, and tonight's game was really the way we played all year. You know, we were down. We didn't give up. We battled back. Frank Viola pitched outstanding, and Jeff Reardon closed it up, and we got an insurance run.
You know, so many people are out here talking to you guys, but there's a guy inside the clubhouse who shies away from the limelight, Tom Kelly.
He really does. That's Tom's makeup. You know, he realizes that this is 1 year, almost the theory of 1 game at a time. He's going 1 year at a time, and I'm very happy for him, you know, being his first year. And in spring training, a lot of his coaches, Rich Delmasic, Rick Rennick, they said, hey, this guy wants to win in the worst way, you know, and he wants to be a good big league manager. And hopefully this is the right stepping stone for his career.
You've had so many great stepping stones in your own career. How does this stack up?
Well, right now it's number 1 because it just comes at a time that, you know, I've played a long time in the big leagues, and I'm very thankful. I thank the good Lord for my ability, but I'm just very happy for a lot of these guys in this room, especially a guy like Don Baylor who lost last year, you know, and this is his first one. A lot of these guys, this is the first one.
Bert, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Bert Blyleven, back upstairs to Stan Ruth.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everybody down there. You happy guys. Well, I wonder what things are like at Mike Shannon's restaurant downtown
in St. Louis,
right
where
now,
we
right?
had dinner 3 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Let's go right now to a story that Lindsey Strand did for us there. Lindsey?
By the top of the 9th inning, they were willing to try anything at Tom's Bar and Grill in St. Louis's West End. But when it was clear it was over, these Cardinal fans were gracious in defeat. You've got your head in your hands.
Yes, I sure do. It's been 2 years ago, same thing, Game 7, when we, you know, have to come back next year. Best team won. Best team won.
Oh, we feel real good for Minnesota. We're glad they won.
Your hat didn't work.
No, my hat didn't work, but 3 times in the 80s, I mean, you know, it's better than anybody else.
This St. Louis bar cleared out in just about 60 seconds. But I have to tell you, not everybody that was here tonight needed a Homer hanky to cry in. There were cheers from Becky Cole when the Twins won. It turns out she's a student at McAllister College in St. Paul, who's been having to hide her Twins fever until now.
She kept it hid during the game. Now I can expose it.
Lindsey Strand, Channel 5 Eyewitness News in St. Louis.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. This is something that made its way to our broadcast booth tonight. It kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? This was their version of a Homer Hanky in St. Louis, minus all those
The
others.
Terrible Town, I think it was called.
That's what they're called, yes. Right.
They're nice fans down there, though. They were very, very nice.
Nice people, by and large, they were. Joe Schmidt standing by right now. Randy Bush, I believe, Joe?
I talked to a lot of emotional players in the locker room, and definitely one of them, Randy Bush. This was a long time coming for you, Randy.
Oh, Joe, it's really hard to put it into words, as much as it means to us, and to know how much it meant to this community. You know, we read the papers and we read about the Super Bowl losses, and to be on the team that lifted that burden, you know, I feel like I'll always be a friend of the Twin Cities, and it's something I'll never forget.
You told me there were some tears in the dugout.
Yeah, when Reardon was closing it out there, I was having a tough time even seeing. I was kind of embarrassed, but I looked around and I saw that a lot of other guys were having the same problem, and I didn't feel as bad. But you know, it's just a tremendous sense of accomplishment.
This team won together. You guys went through a lot together. There was a certain love and chemistry on this team, wasn't there?
Well, there is. I mean, I think the fans sense that the players genuinely do care for each other, and that probably comes from the fact that we all came up together, and for the most part, this team was built through the farm system and not through free agency and trades and stuff. So when you have that, you know, I can remember winning the Southern League with Gary Gaetti and Frank Viola and Tim Laudner, way back in 1981, and now to achieve this with that same group of guys is you know, it's a very special moment for us.
Congratulations, Randy Bush. And speaking of your old teammate from down there in 1981, the G-Man's now standing with Mark Curtis. Mark?
It's been a long season for all of these guys, and Gary Gaetti is one of them. Gary, you've been out there at third all season long. I don't think people realize what a long campaign this is.
No, it's, you think about it, what do you play? Almost, with spring training, almost 200 games if you go into the postseason, and you think, you know, the deer season starts next week or so for me, and it's almost November. I mean, it's just strange, but it's great.
Now, tonight you're saying you don't want to spray it. You want to drink this champagne and enjoy the moment, obviously. When you think back on all of those 200 games, what's going to come to mind a couple of weeks from now when you're up there in the woods deer hunting?
I don't know. I'm not going to forget tonight. You know, just being able to say that the job was accomplished and that you're the best, or that we're the best.
You don't want to get overly dramatic with this, but so many people in this city were counting on you guys. This is something that sends this city who knows where, because now this city is the home of a world champion.
Right. It's really something to be proud of, and they deserve, the people, not only of the city, but of the state, deserve a lot of the credit. I mean, they inspired us with a lot of their performances in the stands. I mean, that is something that other teams are they're gonna experience their presence. You know, hopefully it's gonna be no more empty ballparks in Minnesota, and they're gonna know what crowd fear is or whatever. I mean, it's awesome. They just blew everything else. You know, they just blew their fans away. It was unbelievable.
G-Man, I'm going to let you enjoy drinking that champagne.
Thanks.
Thank you. Congratulations. Great season. Back upstairs now to Stan and Ruth.
Thank you, Mark. When Mark says this city, he of course means the whole community, the whole state, everywhere there are Twins fans. St. Paul, every community.
Even North Dakota, that sign we saw
That's
out
right.
here that
That's
day.
right. Mike Binkley, good buddy that he is still outside the dome right now. Tell us what's going on now, Mike.
Yes, this is a community of partiers all to its own right now. Gumby's down there again with his Homer hanky among the thousands who have literally taken over 6th Avenue or 6th Street just outside the Metrodome. You know, there's a guy walking around with a sign down there that says, "Let's party," as if these people need any coaxing. They've been at it for 45 minutes to an hour straight right now. As we say, they have taken over 6th Street. The street has now been blocked off all the way from Chicago Avenue back several blocks. Cars could not get through there anyway. It's completely full of Twins fans, still jumping up and down, waving their hankies, blowing their whistles. A large contingent now gathered under the electronic message board down here that now reads "Home of the World Champion Minnesota Twins." And there's a plane flying overhead that says the same thing, Minnesota Twins 1987 World Champions. Both of them look awfully good to these fans and to those of us who are out here right now. This party shows no signs whatsoever of dying down. As we say, it looks like we're going to be here a while. Stan and Ruth?
Okay, Michael. Oh, boy. You know, I wonder how many people are going to get to work tomorrow. That should be a real
I don't know.
trial
It
for some
should be
folks,
a
huh?
big hooky day. Now, tomorrow, though, isn't the big celebration, if that's why you're thinking of playing hooky, maybe, just in case you are. The big celebration is going to be on Tuesday. It starts at noon in Minneapolis, kind of a parade on to the Capitol, St. Paul. Big rally there, 1:30.
Big rally right now at Sergeant Preston's over on the West Bank, right? Pat Milan's stationed right there, I do believe. Pat, come on in.
I'm in safe territory, but you can see the crowd on 7 corners. They are going wild. The people have spilled out of the Metrodome, and this is a location here on the plaza. It's about 6 blocks from the Metrodome. These people have gathered in an area on the plaza, and I can tell you, you're looking down below. At a hotel just across the street, there are people who are here from out of town, for one reason or another, looking down on this, and they must be wishing that they were from Minnesota, because these people are having the time of their lives. The bars have essentially closed. They're full, and so these people have to stand outside the party, and that's just the way it's going to be, and it looks like it's going to be this way most of the night. That's it from 7 corners. I can't hear where I'm supposed to send it next. Okay, I think I'll send it to Stan and Ruth.
How long can people jump up and down? I think they can jump up and down for a solid 24 hours. What do you think?
If you didn't know any different, I'll tell you, I don't know how long, but you're looking for Ben Grauer. It looks like Times Square, doesn't it? New Year's Eve and everything else, 4th of July, you name it.
Well, this is the dawn of something big, I'll tell you that.
This is it, the
This
dawn.
is the beginning.
dawn.
Just like the Oakland A's now. They'll go on and win the World Series next year.
Dynasty. Right. We'll be back with more of all this hoopla, madness, craziness, and sheer delight right after this.
Let's go back now to the KSTP studios where Angela Astor is standing by. Angela?
Well, Stan and Ruth, you didn't have to travel very far to hear the familiar strains of baseball tonight, and that was good news for those who couldn't spend the night in front of the television set. For some of us, the seventh game of the World Series meant business as usual, but it would be cruel and unusual punishment to expect these workers not to listen to all the action, and so they did, over the store's public address system.
Well, we asked the boss if we could. Since we couldn't go to the game or watch it on TV, we thought maybe we could compensate by listening to it. And he agreed. He thought it was a great idea.
Believe it or not, some people chose to grocery shop tonight to get away from baseball. That's not easy in a state that seems to suffer from baseball-itis.
I have no interest in it whatsoever.
Not even the World Series.
So I escaped by coming to Rainbow, I thought.
It's true, there was no escaping tonight. If you had to leave your car radio to pump your gas, not to worry. The local convenience store delivered the score.
I suppose there are people that are not Twins fans, and they could really care less. But I think right now, everyone is so hyped in the cities, so why not play on that?
What about the people who don't care about baseball?
They ain't nobody.
I don't know. I think the Twins have made believers of even the most unlikely baseball fans, and tonight the fans who never stop listening are celebrating like never before. We're going to go back to the Metrodome now with Stan and Ruth.
Quite a contrast, Angela. It is quiet here.
Finally.
Very
Finally.
quiet, nicely. Well, we have lots of highlights we want to show you before we wrap this up tonight. Mark Curtis is standing by down below here. Mark, let's see it again.
Thanks very much, Stan. Before we go to the highlights, I want to introduce you to a guy who is a very integral part of this team all year, Jim Weezer, the equipment manager.
Thanks very much. I just want to show you a shirt we got. This is the third one I issued this year. I issued the Western Division, the American League champs, and this shirt here went to every player, but this one here is going to be framed. This is for the 2 million fans that scored a ton of runs for us. I don't care what they scored a ton of runs for us, and they helped us. They really helped the hell out of us. And this shirt is for them, all 2 million of them.
Steve Lombardozzi, continue. Talk about the fans.
On your other camera. I'm going to let him finish up here, then I'll catch you in 2 minutes, okay?
That just shows you what this guy means to these guys on the team. Jim Weezer, tell me what's going through your heart right now.
What's going through my heart? A lot of blood pumping real fast. That's what's going through it. No, I'm happy. I'm thrilled to death. I don't want to sound corny, but this is the honest-to-God truth. When I came to the ballpark today, I wanted to win this game. There's a lot of things that go with it. But I really and truly wanted to win this game for those people that were in the stands when we came back from Detroit. That was the most emotional thing I've ever had in my life. And they're the greatest fans in the world. And they scored, like I said before, they scored a ton of runs for us. They won some ball games for us.
If you could give another MVP, you'd have to give it to the fans. Right now.
No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
Right now, let's go down to Rob Lear, who's standing by with Lombo. Thank you.
Who said this isn't a family affair? We're having a little toast here in live on television.
All right.
The wives, Steve Lombardozzi, congratulations.
Thanks a lot. It's just been an incredible year, and what a way to top it off in front of the fans here. They've just been phenomenal all year long. Just a great feeling, and not only the fans, but our number one fans are our wives right here. Mrs. Gaetti over here, or Mrs. Lombardozzi.
The wives had as much fun as the players did tonight, didn't they?
It was the best. The best. I mean, never been through it. The best. It was great.
I wish I would have been up there with those guys. They look like they have more fun than us.
And the whistles, I see you've got a gold-plated one there.
A nice lady gave us those, and we appreciated them so much, and they helped us out the whole way through.
Did anything top this moment, this evening?
Well, Steve is buying an island this winter in the Mediterranean.
You're going to invite them all over, right?
I guess I could do that. I don't know.
After tonight, anything's possible, isn't it?
Oh, I know. Just unbelievable. It's got to be the highlight of every ball player on this team's career. Just an incredible feeling of accomplishment, and we just played with so much maturity through the playoffs and the World Series. Guys have so much to feel proud of, and not only, again, the guys, but the fans. The Minnesota fans have just been incredible all year long, and they've met us at the airport after 0-6 road trips. 2,000 and 3,000 people been there. You know, it's not only what the millions of people saw on TV tonight, but it was those late nights, 2 in the morning, when those people showed up at the airport for us. what a great night for everyone in Minnesota.
Congratulations. Keep toasting, keep smiling, and enjoy the evening.
We will. Believe me, we will. All right.
Mark Curtis.
Thanks very much, Rob. I think what is so neat about this victory, not only do the players and the family share in this, and guys like Jim Weezer who've been working for the team all year, but this is a victory that can be shared by the entire city. When a golfer wins the Masters, he can't share that with his city. But this team shares this World Series victory with the city of Minneapolis and St. Paul. It's a wonderful thing. 4-2 the final score. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. The Cards had the Twins down early in the game. Some people were worried. They had 4 hits in the second. This one, a run-scoring single by Tony Pena. It was 1-0 St. Louis. Still in the second. This time it's Steve Lake with his first at-bat of the series, and he makes the most of it. Single to left by Lake. Willie McGee scores. It was 2-0. The Twins got a run in their half of the second, and they should have had more. That's Timmy Laudner with a solid base hit. Don Baylor's going to try and score. The throw is there in time, but watch the replay. He didn't put the tag on Baylor, but Dave Phillips called him out anyway. Umps had a terrible night here. They missed a couple of calls for both teams. Twins were able to get a run in the second thanks to Steve Lombardozzi, the man you just saw. Great series for Lombo. Here he singles to center. Bernanke comes in to make it 2-1. Twins had a chance for a big inning in the fifth. Kirby Puckett got it started with a double into the gap in right center. Greg Gagne was off to the races. Gagne scored from first, and the game was tied at 2. But the Twins had 2 runners cut down on the bases. Here, Baylor lines a single to left, and this time Gary Gaetti is coming to the plate. There's going to be a collision. Strong throw by Vince Coleman, and watch the collision by Gaetti and Lake. Lake hangs onto the ball, and Gaetti was out. Twins finally got the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 6th. Cards walked, the bases loaded, and Gagne got the run home with a ground ball to third. Throw to first is not in time, and Bernanke scores to put the Twins in front 3-2, and it finished 4-2. And one more look at the last out of the game, the final out that gave the Twins a World Series victory. This is a moment that none of us in this city will forget for a long time. Right now, let's go live to Pat Milan. Pat?
I'm at 7 corners. It is absolutely wild. Let's take a look at the crowd. People have flooded the streets. They cannot get into the bars any longer. The bars are jammed full. They have flooded the streets at 7 corners. They don't know where else to go, so they're going to stay here and relish the moment, the night, the championship. They don't want to give it up, and I don't think they're going to go home anytime soon. There are a lot of police officers in the area here. No one has been arrested. Everyone is going along quite well. There are a number of times when it seemed that things could have gotten out of control, barricades could have come down, but it has not happened. People are having a pretty good time, and they're really enjoying themselves. And the Twins are number 1. Enjoy yourselves. This is what's going on here. Take it away, guys.
All right, this is Mike Binkley outside the Dome, and what you're looking at is a man who's been standing on top of a stoplight, basically leading cheers from there. A while ago, he had a sign that said number 1, and the people below the sign broke a few more vocal cords shouting, "We're number 1, we're number 1." The man also had a can of beer that he emptied on the people below, and they didn't mind. They just cheered all the louder. Fireworks have been going off outside the Dome here. Right now we have an emergency truck that's going to try and make its way through this crowd. We've seen this twice already tonight, where emergency trucks have tried to make it through, and the fans have been polite in their hysteria. They've cleared a path, and as you see right now, the police are getting them to clear a path. So they're wild, they're happy, but they are helping the emergency trucks get through, as slow as it is right now. Again, you hear the fireworks going off, the people cheering. Let's go back inside the Dome to Stan and Ruth.
Thank you very much,
That
Mike.
is ecstasy. It's busting out all over.
Hope that chap on top of the 7th floor there gets down all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike,
Mark Curtis.
Mark is down below right now, right?
Thanks very much. As we've been saying, a tremendous victory for the Twin Cities. Minneapolis and St. Paul are celebrating tonight. You guys are celebrating. It has been such a long haul, and you tonight became a part of history.
Oh, well, I tell you, when I went on the field there, my heart was pounding like you wouldn't believe. I didn't know if I was having a heart attack or I was hyperventilating. It was just an awesome feeling being a part of it.
And you just said to me a second ago that if you had written a script, you couldn't have written it any better than this.
No. You go to bed at night as a little kid wondering if you'll ever play in a World Series. You get the opportunity to play. You don't really know if you're going to win or lose. It's great if you're there, but it's awesome if you win. And we won tonight. And the whole state of Minnesota is number 1.
We keep talking about the fans that pour down from all over the state, from the Twin Cities, from everywhere around here. How much of a factor did the fans, how much of a difference?
I tell you, if you asked our opponents, I'm sure they'll tell you that they played a great, they were our 10th man on the field, really. They were so loud. I was on the field today, and I had my helmet on, and my ears were ringing. That's how loud they were. When you got support like that, you can't ask for a better 10th man. You can't make a mistake. You can't really think out there. You got to be so much aware of your instincts. I can't even explain it.
Numi, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Let's go down to Joe Schmidt with Greg Gagne.
The T-shirt says it all, Mark. It says, let's all be a part of the miracle at 5th in Chicago. And I tell you what, all the fans were a part of this, and all 24 members of this team plus were a member of this miracle here.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what it is here, but fans support, and I guess we're really confident that we can win here at home. We proved it this year and also through the playoffs and the World Series, and it's just great.
Greg Gagne, a hero tonight. You had struggled at the plate all 7 games. You came up tonight with the big hit. What was it like? What were you thinking with the pressure on up there?
Well, I'll tell you, I was just thinking about trying to get the head of the bat out there. I knew Worrell threw pretty hard, and I wanted to make sure it was a good pitch to hit, and just to get the head on the head of the bat out there. And fortunate enough, I hit it in a good enough spot to beat it out.
And then the celebration started after you guys won it all over. What was it like?
Well, I'll tell you, I was just wondering how high I was going to jump after the final out was made. And then I just seen Jeff and Kirby, and I just ran over there. It was just a great feeling. It's been a long year. It's been a good year. I guess I really won't have to, I guess in the off season, tomorrow I'll wake up with no baseball, but to really think about what I did and what the team did this year and be really thankful for what happened.
Can you compare the feeling to anything else?
The feeling, well, to anything else in life, I don't know. I would just probably have to say that there's one thing that's probably more important to me than that was when I received Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And that was probably the biggest thing in my life. And this is probably the second biggest, but it's been the biggest in a long time.
You're an unlikely hero.
Yeah, I guess I am. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't really swing the bat so well tonight, but the legs kept me going. I'm just thankful for the opportunity to play, and just thankful for being on this team and for the Twins giving me a chance really to make this team at such a young age, You
were a big part of the miracle on 5th in Chicago in '87. Greg Gagne, one of the heroes today. Back to Mark Curtis.
Thanks very much, Joe. Look at this. Is this a motley crew or what? I'm joined by the rest of the Eyewitness Sports staff, and some final impressions as this World Series victory begins to sink in, Rob.
Who were the people that made all this sort of, this team can't win on the road, so they can't win a championship? No rookie manager can put a club on the field and win a title. This team has defied the odds in so many different ways and fashions that, as a reporter that's covered this clubhouse, your heart goes out for a group of guys like this, and you really feel that justice has been served.
You guys having fun here or what?
We're having a great time.
Have some fun.
We're talking about you.
Don't talk about me. Talk about us in Minnesota.
A tremendous victory for the Twin Cities.
Not just the Twin Cities, everybody.
Congratulations.
All right. Keep it wet.
Ed Cairo, your impressions.
Well, we just thought we had to get something going here to welcome you to the Twin Cities. It's just this is a phenomenal group, as Rob was suggesting. This business about not being able to win on the road. I think when it counted, they certainly proved that. But this is a group that has finally bridged that gap for a lot of people who have been psychologically down because nobody can win the big run around here. Talked to Don Cassidy, the marketing director, earlier. He says, this stuff carries over. John Carr told me that at the North Stars a couple of days ago. He says, if somebody wins one, we're going to start breaking the ice around here. It'll be the Vikings, the North Stars, the Strikers, who knows? But it's going to start happening.
Who knows? Let me thank all of you guys for your great work. Joe Schmidt, Rob Lear, Ed Cairo, Mark Stevens, from all of us down here, thank you so much. We'll be back in spring training and be back tomorrow night, of course, with some more post-game stuff. Right now, back upstairs to Santa Rosa.
Thank you, Mark.
Right.
What
Boy,
a
there-
team. What
yeah,
a team
yeah.
covering
There is
the
a
team.
momentum going, like Ed Cairo said.
The monkey has expired, hasn't he? No more monkey on the back. All right. Let's check now at the corner of Chaos and Vine outside the Dome and Mike Binkley, all right?
That's where we are, the corner of chaos. What a party. Still living it up outside the Dome. We want to take you down there to the corner of Chicago and 6th Avenue and let you just listen to how much fun they're still having down here. Some guy on top of a stoplight right now has cutouts of Kirby Puckett and Kent Herbeck, and he's drawing big cheers from the crowd. This guy has been quite the post-game cheerleader outside the Metrodome tonight. By the way, when we last left you, an ambulance was trying to make it through the crowd. It did just fine as we see more fireworks go off outside here. But a taxi cab driver didn't have nearly as great a luck. He had enough nerve to try and make it through this crowd, and he was nearly knocked off his tires. They rocked him back and forth, and he finally lurched forward and put some fans in danger, and they finally cleared a path for him. More fireworks down there in the crowd. What a celebration. Minnesota has a winner. There's a guy down there who has a sign that says, "Need we say more?" That's the way I feel. Well, you think it looks wild here? It's just as wild in downtown Minneapolis. Let's switch over now to Pat Milan, who's there.
Well, this is the party at Seven Corners. Now, you may be wondering if we're showing you the same group of people. I'm sorry. This is not the same group. The group we had for you a little while ago has left, and this is the latest group to show up. I don't know if there is a corner in Minneapolis where people are not celebrating. Minneapolis, St. Paul, the suburbs, everywhere there are people who are Twins fans. They're out having a great time. People are hanging out of the windows. They're looking out of the hotel rooms. And one of the signs down here says it's Bedlam. That's right. It is Bedlam. And those of you who can't be here, we just want to show it to you. We just want you to be a part of it. Enjoy it. If there's work tomorrow, I don't know that anyone's going to show up. There have been many a blizzard that kept people of the Twin Cities from getting to work. And I think that they're going to be snowed under tonight in the blizzard of euphoria in the first World Championship. It's an incredible moment. I hope that you can feel it coming through the television, because to be here is to experience a feeling you just will not feel anywhere else. And I think the miraculous part of what we're seeing here is that everyone actually is under quite good control. As I mentioned in an earlier report, there are a number of police officers stationed here. And they seem to be just as happy as the crowd. There have been no run-ins or skirmishes here in the Seven Corners area, 6 blocks away from the Metrodome. People are having a good time. They're being good about it. They're not getting out of control. A tremendous time. Seven Corners, Minneapolis. There are already banners out in the crowd. Minnesota Twins, world champions. People brought them up to me earlier and said the ink was fresh. And I couldn't believe it. It was fresh. Brand new. And you know, it's just as crazy in St. Paul. And Mark Sapelso's over there. Mark, if you can hear me, take it away.
Pat, I can hear you. I'm at downtown St. Paul, the corner of 7th and Wabasha, right outside the Heartthrob Cafe. I'm telling you, this place was dead about an hour ago. The final pitch hit. The horn... That's right, they're number one. The horn started honking. People started yelling. The home run Hankies came out. They are going nuts. Here they come. How How about those Twins? What do you think of them?
He's right. I can't believe it.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your life? The city finally has the championship. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Lynn. I'm from Wayzata, Minnesota.
What are you doing downtown St. Paul tonight?
Raising hell and having fun and celebrating the Twins World Series victory. Yay!
It's fantastic. Let me tell you. Stay out of the camera so we can see. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry. I dropped your glasses here. Let me ask you where you're from. Where are you coming from?
I work in Hearthstone.
Where from? That's fantastic. Let me toss it back to Stan and Roos. Having a great time downtown St. Paul, folks.
Oh, Mark, your poor voice, your poor suit. But boy, you're having fun at the Heartthrob Cafe in downtown St. Paul.
And Mark is all of their heartthrobs, too.
I think so. Looks that way, doesn't it? We would guess that about 99% of all the celebrating is on the responsible side, but then there is that 1%. There have been a few incidents. One at 6th and Hennepin in downtown Minneapolis. It involved a taxi cab that got rocked and rolled a little bit. It was not overturned, but there were some anxious moments there. And as far as our reports are concerned, that cab managed to run the gauntlet there and got through relatively unscathed. The Minneapolis Police Department, of course, served warning that this sort of thing would not be tolerated. And we are told they got to the scene quickly, and that cab managed to get out of that temporary mess.
And we know from when we were in St. Louis, when the fans came out of the stands there and came by us, we were broadcasting from on top of Winnebago in director's chairs. We weren't anchored down very well. And they started rocking the Winnebago, folks, and I thought I was going right off the left side. I was leaning to the right so I wouldn't fall off the left.
Just a couple of rambunctious fans that got a tad out of line. Most of them are wonderful people in St. Louis. We want to remind you once again that really St. Paul will have its moment to shine. Of course, the stadium being, the Dome being right here in downtown Minneapolis. Come Tuesday, the big Twins procession, the parade, the celebration starts at noon in downtown Minneapolis and then goes as a procession through Minneapolis, through St. Paul, winding up at the state capitol in St. Paul at 1:30 for the big rally then. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I say one thing before we go to the break? School is on for tomorrow, children. If you're listening, we're getting some phone calls. Is school canceled? Sorry to say, no.
Hit the books. All right, we'll be back in just a
right
moment.
back.